Ooh.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Laura Lawfer. I'm here to introduce the session on agritourism and diversifying income through farm stays.
Sorry,
CFSA
Laura.
is going to go ahead.
Laura, can I give you a proper introduction?
Sure.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, welcome and thank you everybody for attending Carolina Farm Stewardship Association's 36th Sustainable Agriculture Conference. This is the session Farm Stays, Cases for Agritourism and Diversified Income with Laura Lawfer of Empowering Mountain Food Systems, Catherine Topol of Smoky Mountain Mangalitsa, and Julie Wilson of Jehovah Raah Farms. I am Angie Lavezzo. I am the CFSA's communications coordinator, and I'm the workshop host. Today's session is sponsored by the Center for Environmental Farming Systems. Please stop by the sponsor pages and learn more about them. They're a great organization and can probably do a lot to help you on your farm. Feel free to introduce yourself and put your questions throughout the workshop in the chat. But please remember to keep our conference community agreements and engage in chat participation and group discussions in mind when you're talking to each other. With that, I will pass it on.
Thank you, Angie.
I'm the sexiest adventurer in the world.
Hey, everybody. So my name is Laura Lawfer. This session is presented by Empowering Mountain Food Systems. We are working in the southwestern counties of North Carolina, and we are a project of the Center for Environmental Farming Systems and a project of North Carolina Cooperative Extension. I'm joined tonight by Catherine Topol from Mangalitsa Farm and Julie Wilson from Jehovah Raah Farm. Next slide, Catherine. The Empowering Mountain Food Systems is funded by the Appalachian Regional Commission and also the Cherokee Preservation Foundation. We are located in Cherokee, North Carolina, and we do have sponsors, partnerships with Cooperative Extension and the Small Business Centers of North Carolina. Next slide, Catherine. We do want to recognize that we live, work, and play in stolen lands from the Cherokee tribe. And in the red area of the map here, you can see this is the area of the project that we're working on. And this is the seal, the Great Seal of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indian. And we want to recognize their role in our work and also honor the space that we're in working in the region. Next slide. Empowering Mountain Food Systems has 10 goals, and our 9th goal is to increase farm income through agritourism. And one of the things we always want to emphasize about agritourism, that it's a form of consumer engagement where working farms offer a variety of recreational, educational, and tourism activities to make their finances more resilient. This is the idea that you can have a barn and have weddings in it, but that doesn't necessarily make it agritourism. We are really helping farms add agritourism, and we want to, as a way to diversify income, and also the important role of educating consumers about small farm systems in the region. So it's really exciting to have both of these cases here tonight that really meet this definition that they are working farms and they have diversified to add agritourism to increase income and to increase consumer awareness around local food systems. So with that, next slide, Catherine. I want to introduce Catherine Topol and from Smoky Mountain Mangalitsa. And she and her partner have transitioned their farm into a HipCamp destination during this very challenging COVID period. So Catherine, I'm going to hand it over to you. And folks, we're going to hold questions till the end. But please put them in the chat. And I know that Angie will help us as we move along. So thank you so much, everybody, and welcome, Catherine.
Well, thank you so much. Hello, it's a pleasure to be with all of you today. My name is Catherine Topol, and my husband and I are raising a slow-growing heritage pig in Western North Carolina. Indeed, our business was devastated by our loss of sales to restaurants. So we began hosting campers through HipCamp in March of this year as a means to generate extra income. We've had great success, and I encourage you to consider this option. And I'm just going to jump right in. So I'm sure many of you have heard of Airbnb, the hosting platform for travelers. Well, HipCamp is similar, but is geared toward all levels of camping. Doing an easy web search, you will see there are many new names in the camping game. See, and I have some of them listed here, but definitely do your research when deciding which platform you would like to use, as the company may not offer terms that you like or services in your area. For example, the last one on the list is Harvest Hosts, and we did not consider them because the camper does not pay to actually stay on your property. They pay a membership fee. They are encouraged to spend at least $20, but are not required to do so. So we were not interested in these particular terms. We were instantly impressed with HipCamp, though, for 3 reasons. The quality of the properties that were listed on the app, that they were mostly dedicated to tent camping, and the reach that they have around the world. HipCamp is constantly improving their platform for both the camper and the hosts, and welcomes user input from both sides. So we've really appreciated how they've been moving forward in just the 6 or 7 months that we've been with them. So the benefits of opening your land to campers are many. We were at first uncomfortable with the idea of strangers on our land and deeply concerned about bad behavior and abuse of our property and animals. We have not experienced one inkling of anything of this sort, and in fact have met only lovely families, couples, and professionals. So these fears aside, the benefits are certainly what I have listed here: minimal startup costs. We truly put rocks in a circle for a fire pit and made tables out of pallets and plywood. So there's low overhead, low labor costs, basically minimal. And we love the control that we have over the entire camping schedule and our pricing. But best of all, many of our farm expenses that were previously not tax deductible are now eligible, such as fuel for mowing or planting flowers and even outdoor furniture. So another wonderful benefit is selling our farm grown pork to our campers. So I don't go to farmers markets. I don't have time. I don't have time to work them. We're 2 people running a large operation. So we were very, very surprised at being able to integrate our sales with our camping situation. So once these campers discover the novelty of our pigs, their camping experience is enhanced when they cook a Mangalitsa copa steak or a bratwurst over the campfire. On many occasions, this has earned us a loyal customer for both camping and pork sales. We've raised brand awareness, sold whole pork, whole hogs to campers, and had many repeat customers. So definitely, it's been many benefits on the upside. I will get to the challenges here shortly, but first I want to share with you how to choose your campsites and how to list your property on HipCamp. First, determine campsites that offer the very best experience that your property can manage. And remember that offering quantity over quality will only work against you in your reviews. Be honest with your descriptions and pictures, and disclose need to know things like 4-wheel drive only, or machinery noise is likely at certain times on weekdays. Ideally, you will be utilizing land not otherwise being farmed and well away from your operation. So first that you will do is you will create a listing on the HipCamp app. Think of the listing as your space that you personalize through a questionnaire after you sign up. Think of your listing as a hotel chain where each campsite is the same price. You may need only one listing for all of the campsites on your farm, but in our particular situation, we have 2 listings because 3 of our sites offer better location or amenities than the other 7, thus they are slightly more expensive. Each listing gives detailed descriptions of the site and other information, such as the number of cars it can hold and the amenities, if any. It details pricing and rules that you create, such as dogs must be leashed at all times, as well as policies personal to your farm, such as we charge per vehicle. We have gone even further in our description by highlighting nearby attractions and promoting other area farms such as Presnell's Fresh Farm Market. All of this information entices people to book with you. As you host campers, they will be able to add photos and reviews to your listing. This is a wonderful feature and one you should embrace, as it can help you draw in bookings. My favorite part of the HipCamp app is the calendar. I can see at a glance who's coming when, as well as look at their booking statement. Unfortunately, hosts cannot yet move campers between campsites, and this seems to happen more often than you might think. This becomes necessary when a group grows in size or needs to be relocated, or maybe the campsite is inaccessible because of weather. My understanding, though, is that this feature is in the works. This is an example of my calendar here. The calendar allows you to block off dates, giving you full control over your schedule. It also lets you raise and lower prices for specific days, as well as change the minimum nightly stay. You might want to do this for the July 4th holiday. Raise the price per night $10 and require a 3-night minimum stay instead of 2. Each camper's name leads to their booking statement, and once inside the statement, you can message them directly and answer their questions. I will share too that the messaging system is great. Messages come straight to your phone via text, enabling you to answer questions promptly, and promptness will increase your bookings. A new feature we really like is an automated message that is sent to the camper 48 hours to arrival. Ours gives detailed directions, reiterates our policy that we charge per vehicle, and requests that the camper give us an ETA. So the challenges. Well, camper inquiries take the majority of my time. We joke that that little ping on my phone is money. Instead of the cash register, it's that little ping of my text messaging. And I'm juggling those groups who are due to arrive soon, as well as the many who are booked to arrive in the future, and those who are considering booking but have many questions. Certainly, they want to make sure it's safe for their children. Can their dogs come? All of these answers typically are on our listing, but people don't read. They would rather bother you with their questions. So we just go for it and do the best that we can. But it can be a lot of work, and we do our very best to be prompt with their answers so that we want to get with them booking with us before they decide to go elsewhere. So some challenges are that farm tours may have to be delayed. For instance, we do Sunday checkouts, a majority of those, and I tend to stay at the house and sell our meat while my husband tends to the chores. And other issues you might find are, we had the flood in August with Tropical Storm Fred, and inclement weather ruined this campsite that you see here. The water was over the roof of that shooting shed there. So we've had to relocate people or cancel altogether, which certainly impacted our, our revenue, excuse me. We consider tire tracks like smile lines just the sign of a good time, but we do our best to minimize them. Now, negative reviews are always unpleasant and seem unfair, and we have taken the approach to turn them into an advertisement. We got a do not recommend complaint from a woman that camping wasn't for her. And this, of course, impacted our 5-star rating and was completely unfair in our eyes. And instead of responding that, hey, dummy, don't you know what camping is all about? We responded with, hey, you're a perfect candidate for our new glamping decks with king-size beds and full bathrooms. So I strongly encourage you to resist the urge to try and right the wrong, but just roll with it and say something genuinely nice, as it will always work in your favor. And the biggest challenge, I think, is late arrivals for us, and that we like to go to bed early. And in this situation, we provide maps and send verbal directions to the camper through the app. Now, it's doubly difficult if the campsite is difficult to find in the dark and they have to be escorted. So in this situation, we remind them of our 5 p.m. check-in policy and offer to put them in a layover spot for the night that is easy to access, and then move them in the morning. Now, for marketing, we use Instagram, which is a picture-based platform. And these are all pictures from campers on our property, which are just adorable. And we focus our hashtags on families and locations that we think are close enough to visit easily. For instance, we use hashtag Asheville Getaway to entice the Asheville crowd. With young children, a 30-minute drive to go camping is ideal. And another focus is tagging upcoming events such as Thunder in the Smokies, which happens in Maggie Valley, and we're marketing to motorcyclists around this time. HipCamp offers professional photography, but does not offer marketing per se. So I encourage you to use your own website that will link people to your HipCamp listing. If they're looking at your website for your products and your farm, then send them camping as well. Now, extras are a feature that you can add onto your listing on HipCamp, and there is a tremendous opportunity to double or triple your revenue over the camping income alone by offering extras for sale. So this is a short list of items that we offer. And in fact, we put in the porta potties with COVID because people wanted their own private place to have their potty. So it worked out great. The dogs have been tremendous. Sometimes we'll have 9 dogs on the property. That's an extra $90 that we bring in on our farm for that weekend. And then the last one of the last ones here is farm tours. And I was told a long time ago in one of these great webinars that you're going to be giving the information away. You may as well get paid for it. So we charge $5 per person, and I consider it a paid advertisement. And it inevitably leads to port sales. So I encourage you to get creative with your extras and get people excited about your products. Souvenirs and merchandise are phenomenal. You know, if you've ever traveled anywhere, you've probably purchased one of these. So it's a real hit with all ages. And you see here that we've made our livestock guardian dog Stetson into our camp mascot. So now let's move on to legal considerations. So we established an LLC for the camping business with its own bank account, and we registered only one of us, my husband. We registered him as the owner. So as a single owner, it protects our jointly held assets should a camper bring charges against the camping company. HipCamp offers $1 million in liability coverage for camping related incidents and for damage to your property. I would definitely seek counsel on whether you should carry additional coverage should your net worth exceed 1 million. HipCamp, as far as fees, takes 10% from your gross sales. So whether camper puts the nights in their cart, as well as a few bundles of firewood and the dog, HipCamp will take 10% of all of that. They then charge the camper 15% on top of that booking price. So just to give you an idea, they are getting quite a cut from your participation. With my involvement recently with Airbnb, they take 20% if you offer an experience. So it's not even an overnight stay. That's quite a lot. However, if you host on Airbnb, they take 3%. So you may consider booking your campsites with Airbnb. I believe they're moving into that. So as far as taxes in Haywood County, where I'm located in Waynesville, we're not required to collect taxes when renting real property, selling firewood that we grow and cut ourselves, or for the dog and the car fees that we collect. We don't have to collect any taxes for that. We do have to collect 7% for the private porta-john and for merchandise, however. It's simple to set up an account with the Department of Revenue online, and it is the law. Should you branch into glamping or cabin rentals, keep in mind you must adhere to fire and building codes, which may include building roads for fire trucks and installing sprinkler systems. Please, I've been down this road. Do not assume that these are issues, no matter how simple or small your accommodations. You absolutely have to ask those questions. In Haywood County, for instance, we are required to be inspected by the county if you offer more than 4 lodgings. So with the primitive camping, those aren't lodgings. Lodgings would be if we provided a tent and a bed. As far as lessons learned, I encourage you to spell everything out about your farm rules and policies on an information sheet and on your listing, of course. We give these information sheets to the camper, and of course at the top you can see we sell our stickers and our hats. We want them to see that first. So it's a great way to minimize their frustration, reduce repetitive questions, and advertise your products for sale. I think second to this lesson is holding back 1 or 2 campsites that are unpublished on your listing. This was a great lesson. We use our 2 unpublished sites really almost weekly to accommodate campers who want to extend their stay, or for groups that suddenly grow from 1 car to 5. This is captive revenue that you most certainly do not want to lose. Lastly, let's talk about the future of camping. Now, the current camping rigs are extraordinary, and you can see some of them here. Very imaginative and so accommodating. The one on the top right holds a California king of all things. So we've seen many of them on our farm, And glamping is the upscale version of those who enjoy their creature comforts in a quiet setting. You can see that in the bottom right. That's from the Cashers Historical Society glamping show this year. So the future of camping is certainly unknown, but I predict it will be a blend of camping with an aspect of hospitality as well as unique experiences. So many of our campers never leave the farm during their stay. This is a ripe opportunity to educate and entertain them. We are planning a mix of primitive camping and glamping decks, which you see on the middle picture, that's on our farm, with full bathrooms is our next step. Our strategy is to appeal to a broad spectrum of taste and income levels. And I'm certain that no matter the accommodation, the satisfaction of cooking dinner over a campfire or brewing cowboy coffee while watching the sunrise will never lose its appeal. So I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and I want to extend to you an invitation to contact me personally should you have any questions or thoughts on setting up your own venture. If you do choose to list with HipCamp, please use this referral code. You will earn $100 after you host your first camper through HipCamp. And please don't hesitate to contact me. And thank you so much for letting me participate today. I've just thoroughly enjoyed it.
That was awesome, Catherine. Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions for Catherine before we move on? If not, that's okay. We can do questions at the end. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so Helena has a question about HipCamp specifically. She wants to know, do you charge cleaning fees?
Okay, we don't charge cleaning fees. The HipCamp is very primitive, so people are sleeping in their vehicles, trailers, or setting up tents. It's been truly rocks in a circle and providing them a quiet and peaceful and safe place to camp. We try to appeal to our solo female travelers who feel very safe on our property. We encourage those people to leave reviews as well as try to outline the safety features that we have on our own listing.
Great. Okay. And a follow-up question, do folks respect your rules and policies, or do they wander off into parts of your farm that they should not know are there or should not be included in?
Well, great question. We did, after many of these wonderful webinars and listening to the attorneys talk, that if you think it's a hazard, mark it as so. So we have danger, do not enter on all of our hog pens. And then we tell them about the electric fencing. We tell them, don't open a gate, don't jump a fence. You're on our property. You can go anywhere else. And so we encourage them to just be mindful of that. And we had a massive flood on the Pigeon River where we lost life and property. And so we encourage them to wear shoes for sharp objects, glass, barbed wire, those kinds of things. We just try to educate people because truly situational awareness, I think, is only taught in the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. So we try to help, just trying to remind them that their limbs do fall, walnuts fall from trees, can dent cars. Creeks flood, that kind of thing. So you're right. Definitely put it in your information sheet. We hand those out every day to our campers, and we in fact reiterate the North Carolina statute that you're in an agritourism activity, and we print that out for everyone. So you're going to find your listing and your rules continue to grow as you get into the camping. But everyone's been wonderful. Honestly, not one negative experience.
That's great. That's great. Well, that's all the questions that we have for now, but I think there probably will be some more towards the end. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get Laura and Julie on, and we'll put you on hold, Catherine. And
sure, my pleasure.
Okay. All right, welcome, ladies.
Hey, everybody. I want to introduce Julie Wilson from Jehovah Raah Farm here in Clyde, North Carolina. She has an amazing experience to share with y'all tonight. She's a working fiber farm and has integrated Airbnb and allowing folks to really experience life on a farm. And so I'm going to hand it over to Julie now.
Hi, so my name is Julie, and back in '92, my husband was wanting to build a new building for his business, and he dreaded the thoughts of mowing the grass And I sheepishly said, "How about sheep?" And he said, "Yes." And that was the beginning of Jehovah Raah Farm. We started with 2 sheep, and that's what Jehovah Raah Farm means, the Lord Shepherds. So almost 30 years later, 2 sheep have paved the way for alpacas, llamas, Angora goats, Angora rabbits. Even our cattle have fiber, Scottish Highland cattle. So let's see. And I retired from teaching in 2010. So I do all the animal work, and Dan is still working off the farm. So I laugh when I say that Dan likes the animals because I love the animals. So our 3 acres in Candler has grown to 45 acres in Fines Creek. Let's see. And because my background is in teaching, I love to have people come to the farm and teach them all about the animals. And that grew into teaching people to use the fiber into spinning fiber into yarn. And then in the spring of 2018, we have a little second house on the farm. And then it became an Airbnb vacation rental. So, and this is what we call the Shepherd's Croft. So let's see, and Airbnb makes it so easy to start your own vacation rental. They take you through, it says, if you just Google Airbnb, which was started by two young men in San Francisco. They needed some rent money, and there was a festival in town, so they rented out one of their rooms, and they had to put the guests on an air mattress. So that is where the name comes from, Airbnb. Let's see, and that was back in 2007 or 8, and Brian Chesney is still the CEO, along with his other 2 roommates. So they have 10 easy steps. It takes you through the kind of house, if you want just a part of your apartment, or they have the total house to themselves. It takes you through how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. They cover everything. So let's see. Let's see. Right, the 10 easy steps. And let's see, another thing that I love about them is that their 24-hour customer service is fabulous. We tried another B&B company, but they didn't really answer the phone a lot, and when you need help, you need help now. So I'm very impressed with them. And they have like 5,000 employees, so they can go 24 hours. So let's see what else.
Hey, Laura.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if your slides are advancing or not. Are you?
Oh,
You're not in presentation mode, so you're going to have to move them forward yourself.
I am. Yeah. So is this are you in presentation mode now?
Well, I'm not sure if you are. All we've seen so far is the very first slide.
Oh, I was advancing.
Okay.
So you're not seeing that advancing?
No. Let's see.
Yeah, they're advancing on my end. That's odd. So I wonder, so what about now? Can you see what do you see now?
I see your cursor going over. Oh, there we go.
But it's not.
Now I see the second slide.
Pardon me, but it's not full screen.
It's not full screen, but I think that's okay. I mean, we can see it.
Okay, cool. That's better.
That's what's going to have. You have to click on the picture and not just scroll. So when you're moving forward,
so hold on. Let me. How is that? Do you see the second slide now and the third slide?
I see the second slide,
but not the third slide.
Not yet.
Okay, we'll get out of this then. Okie dokie. So now
I'm seeing hosting an Airbnb. There we go. Become a host in 10 steps.
Okay, how about, so here, what I want you to see now is a farmhouse experience with the animals. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, yep. Great. Okay, we'll just have to stay in this mode.
Yeah, that's fine. I think just as long as you're clicking on the picture you want to see, then we'll see it too.
Okay, thanks for letting me know. Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, so if anybody is thinking about a vacation rental and wanting to do Airbnb, it is very easy. It just takes time. It takes time to take the pictures, to load the pictures, to create your description. They set you up on all these checklists, but then I did come and put all of a description about the entire house. Everything from if there's a 1920 refrigerator that you see in one of them, monitor refrigerator, that it has a voice of its own. So in 2021, refrigerators you do not hear them. So I wanted to tell the visitors everything about the house. So that's in my description. And that's the 10 easy steps. And yeah, let's see, we tried long-term renters, and that did not work very well because they decided not to pay rent. So we had to go through the court system and evict them, and that just turned out to be hard. We also tried woofers, and woofing was good, but they stayed 2 to 3 weeks, and then I get a new set of woofers, and then we had to train them all over again. So then a few of our friends were doing vacation rentals, and they said, why don't you try that? And I thought if I took the revenue from the vacation rental and then I just paid a local farm worker to come and help me do the work. So that's the things that we have done other than Airbnb. So let's see.
So now, yeah.
5?
Mm-hmm.
Is that on 5?
No, you're on 4.
Okay, that was the life before.
No, you're supposed to.
5? Yeah, just go.
Okay.
So we're going to figure this out. So let's see. Hosting on an Airbnb on your farm, the company Airbnb goes through the registration process. They vet all the guests. They require a license, and I could ask them to show their license when they come to our farm. They collect all the money. I think that would be really hard for me to okay, where's your money? But they do it all, and they deposit it into our farm checking account. What I do is manage it, that once they book our farm, then they are given our phone number and the address, and then I can answer any individual questions. Let's see. So another thing that Airbnb, you can decide, they give you a choice of instant booking, or I have 24 hours to decide on a booking. And because we are a farm first, I need to know that somebody is coming, that I can prepare the house. If I have shearing going on or we're going to put up hay, then I can block the days. Any day, if you just want to host your little site just for weekends, then you can block all the other days. So you steer the boat. They have just given you the boat to ride. So let's see, in the considerations, that's where I write. It's called, on the site, it's called Julie's Guidebook, that I tell all things about the pets and the children, the bathtub. Yes, what I allow. So good. Next slide. Yeah, the fees. And a lot of people think that Airbnb would take a big chunk out of your profits, but they don't. They only take 3%. Our nightly charge is $150, and they're actually only taking about $6 out. The guest does pay the service fee, and that I think it's about 17%, and then they pay the occupancy tax, which is about 11% in our county. Let's see. So, and the other, the cleaning fee comes straight to me. And let's see the other.
How did you decide that cleaning fee? Remember you were.
Yeah, well, the cleaning fee, pretty much it takes 3 to 4 hours. So I was just paying myself $10 an hour to clean it.
You didn't do that at first, right?
No, I did not do it at first because I actually thought 125 is what we started at. And then I was doing so much work to put into it to prepare for a guest. So I went up to 150. And then I was still doing a lot of work if I don't have a 2-night minimum. So if I have to clean it a lot. So then I said, well, and my children were saying everybody charges a cleaning fee. So I added the cleaning fee. So that's how, it's good. So let's see. The other thing Airbnb does, it takes care of the 1099 at the end of the year. They tally it. Their website has, I counted it, it's about 52 little video presentations that if you have any question whatsoever, that they can help you with the questions that you have.
They pay the fees to the county.
Yes, and they send the occupancy. So if I don't do any other booking except Airbnb, I would not have to do the occupancy tax to Hayward County. But I choose to also book people through our website or through a phone call. So I am still sending in that monthly check or voucher to Hayward County. So let's see. Yeah. This is the fun. I like this. Every time I look at this, I smile. We were at a family gathering and I was having a hard time. Do I charge if someone wants to make a rug? Do I charge if they want a tour? And I just decided to have a flat fee and then they can pick their options. And it's all dealing with the farm. If farmers out there, a broody hen sits on her nest about 28 days and she is just in a trance. She's just this. So if someone wants to be by themselves, they don't want to see me, I don't see them, I would even leave the key in the door. So that's option 1. Option 2 is the barn owl. And I like to do this demonstration. So here is a barn owl. So if people don't want to get their feet muddy and they just want to see what a farm entails, then they can choose that. And then we come to the Clydesdale option. And this is fun on Instagram, the farm Instagram, if you want to see some videos of families that have come and chosen the Clydesdale option. Let's see, you can go on the farm's Instagram. There is a very cute video. We are shearing a goat in probably 3 minutes because the guest was very smart. He put his cell phone on the rock and he put it on the slow motion. So that's why the shears are on this slide, because they actually do help me. If it's time to shear the sheep, we shear sheep. So
can you talk about the rug making?
Yes. There is a loom in the bedroom, and if they choose to bake a loom and take it, make a rug, I will help them in the beginning and teach them how to do what we call the weft, and that's the yarn that goes across like this. In the picture, you can see the strings that are going, and that's called the warp, and I have already done that for them, so they have a pretty easy job. But to see their faces when they take that rug off the loom is all worth it. And that's why I do it. They are taking home something that they created. They picked the colors. They are so much a part of it. So that's really, really good. So, and how do I make things special? This is a video of someone, if they tell me that they're celebrating 25-year anniversary, I think of something that I can do. So when they got off the interstate exit, I was rushing around lighting every one of those candles. So either the husband or the wife or one of the couple knew that I was doing that so they could come in. So when they have children, I put coloring books or toys. And I have to tell you, if you look, and the bread, yeah, there's a bread maker in there. So I asked them if they want flannel, cotton, linen. One lady said, oh, I have never been asked that. So I haven't thrown in the satin sheets yet, but they can pick what kind of sheets they want. And if they want homemade bread ready upon their arrival. And the secret is that it makes the house smell divine. So that is very good. And I get the butter from Presnell's, which Catherine noted too. Also, it's Amish butter. And then, of course, farm eggs. So the other picture, the photo of the 5 ladies, if y'all look really, really close, I'm down there kneeling with the green. There is a baby alpaca. These 5 ladies were celebrating, one of them turned 60, a birthday tour, and one of them was washing their hands with me at the hose, and I heard another lady said, is this alpaca having a baby? And sure enough, they saw something that they would never have seen in a million years. They saw an alpaca be born on the farm. So that was very interesting. Wonderful. Okay, so insurance. In the center is the North Carolina 2005-236 House Bill 329. That is a warning to tell people when they're coming onto a farm that it might be dangerous for them. You can have this on your gates. We do have insurance. It is a rider with our regular insurance that insures the farm. And that is a big step, I think, for anyone that has a farm that is going to open it up to the public. I remember when I went through a lot of, what if somebody sues me? So that is a consideration. Anyone can sue, but this allows them that if you are not negligent, that they really don't have too much of a leg to stand on because they know that they're coming into. Animals are very unpredictable. And the other part is that Airbnb covers a $1 million policy for the house if any of the guests break something or damage something. But in the 2.5 years that we have done that, I have never had anyone misuse anything in the house. Let's see. I think that's about it. Let me see. Oh, good. Okay. So these are 2 of my favorite photos. Of course, that is my grandson on the little horse/dog. So, and then this is a lady that is boarding her goat, and she comes once a month. She calls it her goat therapy. So, and a lot of the videos and photos are on Instagram and Facebook. And of course, on the website is the story of how myself, who grew up in a neighborhood, and I just had a pet turtle and a poodle, came to a 45-acre farm with all of these animals. So let's see. And if you if you want me as a reference to refer you, I would help anyone, working out their house with Airbnb, and they do pay over $500 for a referral. I'll split it with anybody.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
So does anybody, I have a few more slides, but does anybody have any specific questions for Julie right now about her Airbnb experience? About her Airbnb rental.
There's a specific question from April, wants to know where she can get one of those warning signs.
The North Carolina Department of Agriculture has that. And then if you cannot find it, I hope that my email or my cell phone, you can call me and I'll help you get one. But it's the North Carolina Department of Agriculture.
Great.
Go to that website.
Right, and I have that resource for you.
Great. Okay. Now, I'm sorry. Did you say that you have, Laura? You have some more.
Yeah, I've just got a couple more slides here.
Okay.
I do mention Airbnb experiences. Even if you don't have a rental on your property, you can register with Airbnb to have an experience. And so you can see here, here's, having high tea at somebody's sheep farm. There's a cooking experience. These folks are making pasta, having a wine tasting. One of our partners that we've been working with is Shaka Alpaca out in Cherokee County. And they charge folks $20 per person, even if you're a child, to walk with their alpacas for like an hour and a half. And they have a little store on site where folks can buy alpaca products. They also have their own honey, their own pickles. But he's turning people away. They were full and active throughout the winter. And he did say that Airbnb, the charge for experiences is higher versus the 3% we talked about earlier. It's a 20% surcharge, and Matt said it was worth every penny. So if you're not ready to go full into, having folks on your farm, maybe this Airbnb experience idea is something you want to check out. And then lastly, I did want to mention some resources. The NC State, we do have a tourism extension program, which is fantastic. We're actually having a presentation with them on December 3rd. It's an online presentation with Whitney Nolenberg and Carla Barbieri about some research they've done out here about agritourism. And then, of course, as Julie mentioned, NCDA has a fantastic agritourism program. I hope many of you know about Annie Baggett and her work with the NC Farms app, and just a lot of support for agritourism from the Department of Agriculture. And then finally, there is a membership group, the North Carolina Agritourism Network. I believe the membership is extremely affordable. I believe it's under $100 a year. In the past, they have had annual conferences, but this is the place to go, to talk to your fellow farmers about, insurance, what happens when, if, these things happen, just ideas for how to integrate agritourism into a working farm. So I just wanted to make sure that y'all had these resources, that where to go for additional information about agritourism. And Julie?
That place would also have those signs.
Right. So the nc-ana.org should have those signs as well, that you can print them off, or you can buy them from them. And, and I don't know if they're the hard plastic or metal signs.
You can choose.
But you can choose, right. So that's a resource for you. So does anybody have any questions for me, Julie, or Catherine as we wrap up?
I'm not seeing any fresh ones yet. I think if I could be so bold, I'm interested to know how do you decide how much insurance to put on your farm when you're bringing people on? Is that something your agent helps you with, or?
Yes, they should. That's their expertise. I know the throw-out thing is like $1 million policy, but they should, because and I used to worry, and I went to one of the conferences about agritourism and farming, and the lady was wonderful. So she gave a talk, and she was an insurance agent, and you know what she told me? That's my job. I will worry about it, and I will take care of it. And that was like, okay, I haven't worried since. If I'm covering insurance and something happens, it's their job to do. They're fighting for me.
Well, may I just offer a little bit of input on that? So when we established the Camping LLC, which had its own bank account, so HipCamp, all of the monies that are generated through the camping are funneled into that particular bank account. Because they're creating the exposure, we let those monies pay for the insurance policy. So there's a way to make these, what I call before tax dollars, work for you. And so any astute accountant or just finance advisor would tell you to structure your life in such a way. It's not complicated. It's actually quite clean. And you're going to be using, like I said, before tax dollars to pay for mowing the grass so that the campsite looks pretty, or planting flowers, or buying outdoor furniture, or paying your legal fees. So all of a sudden, things that were not tax deductible before, because we were raising just pigs, I'm just saying, now we've got the camping and we have people coming on the property, things are getting integrated and becoming actually more elegant, I guess is the best way to say it. And you feel better about writing that check for that insurance bill that maybe gives you another $1 million. Maybe you start with $1 million through Airbnb and $1 million cover through HipCamp, but you need your own $1 million policy. It's a couple of $100 a year sometimes, right? So it's worth every penny. Your camping will pay for that. The extras will pay for that. Firewood and dogs. I mean, we're in several $1,000s in all of that. Just little baby extras like that.
Right. And so, as Catherine mentioned earlier, really consult with a professional. A CPA can help you understand all those ins and outs and using those dollars for pre-tax expenses.
Yeah, take any deduction.
I mean, might as well.
It's law, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like any new questions have come through. So, do you want to, kind of leave any parting? Should people get in touch with you if they have questions or anything like that?
Yeah, my number's out there. I don't care who calls me. So you give my number to anybody.
So, it's easy to find Empowering Mountain Food Systems. We are a project of the Center for Environmental Farming Systems. If you Google all that, you'll find us. And Catherine?
Yep, Smoky Mountain Mangalitsa. Hard to spell, hard to say. I didn't.
But delicious.
But delicious. And yes, it's Smoky Mountain Mangalitsa River Camp and Smoky Mountain Mangalitsa Car Camp on HipCamp. My number's everywhere. It's all over the internet. Please call me. I'd be happy to help you. I would encourage you. You're looking at tens of thousands of dollars. That is easy passive income. I wouldn't hesitate. You don't have to do it forever. And we haven't had one bad experience. I'm your cheerleader. I'm here to help you. Don't hesitate to call me.
That's fantastic. Well, ladies, I really thank you for your time. I think I learned a lot of stuff, and I can see there's some fantastic comments. People are just like really thanking you and saying how great it was. So I really appreciate your time. And thank you again for the Center for Environmental Farming Systems for sponsoring this. And I hope you all have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. Thanks for your help.
Thank you. Thank you. And
good night.
Mountain Food Systems. Bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.